Yeah, hello and welcome. It's a pleasure to be back at AWE in Vienna. Simulated reality, how to create the solutions of tomorrow. Who is on stage with you, Lukas?
Hi guys, my name is Lukas Stranger, running NXOT as a CEO and co-founder. I'm happy to be here today. Who are you?
I'm Jan, founder of AdviceXR, supporting startups, the community, and I also have a little bit of background in the automotive industry. So, what is this session about, Lukas?
Well, I think we're going to have a nice little fire chat tonight, or today, this morning actually, right? And the topic should be about how we can merge the physical world and the digital one to solve problems of tomorrow.
Sounds like a great chat with you. Everybody of you feeling I'm in the wrong session? There are 5 seconds left to leave the room.
Be fast.
So let's begin. But let's begin with the first question. How many years of AW experience are in the room today? Who was attending more than 10 times? Raise your hand. Oh, great. More than 5 years? It's getting more, it's double, yeah, that's perfect. Then let's take a seat. All right, let's start. Let's have a look what happened in the past 13 years. So we saw a lot of tech. It's the first Oculus DK1 coming up, and everybody will say, yeah, that's now the starting point. VR will raise, and we will have a big future. We saw a lot more companies rising, cool stuff, probably a little bit too early at that time, and some issues, clunky ergonomics and so on, and the market not ready yet. Also some famous names on the stage at AWE at that time. So a lot of tech we got presented and we were talking about in the past. And nowadays, after a lot of iterations in the hardware stuff, Lukas, you were one of the first early adopters doing these. We can tell you a little bit about.
Yeah, sure. I mean, we were pretty early with the idea of merging a real-time camera feed into the virtual environment. Obviously, that's an HTC, but we do software to merge those. And our co-founder and CTO, Patrick, figured out a way to merge the advantages, basically, of virtual reality and augmented reality, bring them together, and illuminate, basically, all the disadvantages. For example, you can interact with real-world objects, stuff like this. And I think we're going to see also some more adaptations.
So if we have a look at other simulation hardware tools, we see a lot of sensor technologies integrated. We have depth sensors, infrared sensors, and all these stuff in the professional equipment. But also nowadays, the consumer headsets are equipped with all these kind of cameras and sensors to integrate what you mentioned, the real world, into the formerly closed VR world. And of course, everybody is talking about
the Apple thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. What do you think? Will this be a game changer? What is your take on Apple Vision Pro?
I think everybody hopes at least it will be a game changer. To be quite honest, I didn't get the chance to test it out so far. I'm going to ship it late next year to Europe. I mean, the expectations are high when you look at the specs. I think it might be a very interesting tool. But yeah, let's see. What do you think about it?
Yeah, for me, it's an Apple tool. So having a MacBook on your nose, it's for sure a great stuff. But hardware-wise, it will not be. For me, that's not a game changer. What is more important, or what could be the game changer, is what is developed behind the complete ecosystem, the Apple ecosystem, the software transfer, the 2D tools in the spatial environments, all these stuff in preparation of the future of spatial computing. I guess this is the more important stuff than the hardware. So, but what has everything in common we saw from the current developments of the hardware, the devices?
Yeah.
It's
always a video see-through, a pass-through. And yeah, we can see every headset coming to the market which have at least implemented some types of camera technology to enable those merge of physical and digital world in a hopefully quite fine way.
Yeah, so we have added tech to the existing tech, and let's talk in a minute a little bit further about that. A short hint from my side, if you are working with big companies, enterprises, do not expect that you have access to the latest tech there. The implementation process is quite complex and it takes a while. It's about legal clarification, it's about open source validation, and it's about IT security certification. All these steps take time, and so be aware of the fact that even if the latest tech is available right now, you probably will not find it in an enterprise context, and it still takes time.
I mean, you have lots of experience from a big company's perspective, I guess. Like, have you any idea how long? I mean, you've gone through several certification processes, I guess. Have you any idea how long it takes on average, and maybe also what you can prep to speed up the process at all?
Yeah, so figuring out an average is difficult. It could be 1 year, it could be 2 years. Sometimes we have hardware waiting 5 years until productive use. As you want to implement something into this environment, prepare your documentation also about open source usage, libraries and all that stuff, and avoid external communication and data collection, because this is the most critical part. And if you are sending out data to whatever thing outside, I guess this is a no-go.
And a pain in the ass, right?
Kill immediately every approach. So, Lukas, but yeah, is it about tech we are talking today?
Definitely not. I think, I mean, to be fair, it was about tech, I think 5 years, 10 years ago, because nowadays we're in a situation where tech is at reached a certain level. I think we don't need to bother too much about it, and it's basically kind of a no-brainer that it works. Obviously, it could be improved in certain ways, but by the end of the day, I strongly believe it's today not about technology. It's more about other things, but I think I'm going to talk about them in a minute.
Yeah, so tech is an enabler to solve challenges we have right now, or probably it's also an initiator to develop new solutions. I guess this is the main thing about tech. And I will look back to what I presented before with the early stage hardware and so on. As long as we are all in our own bubble, we are talking about tech. But as soon as it comes to solutions which also need some clients and customers, I guess we should talk about how these future solutions should look like.
I think so. I mean, at least it's our topic, right? So yeah, what's your take here? What do you think?
Well, for me, we have this transformation from the product itself. The product definition itself is no longer described in hardware. Mm-hmm. In the past, we have engineering, hardware functionality. Nowadays, the product is a part of our digital ecosystem, and it's also part of our daily life. So it's more or less integrated, and we have several layers of also complexity and several layers of usage. Yeah. So I would define a product as a collection of experiences right now.
Yeah. Well, what I can add is, I guess, also thanks to the power of nowadays mixed reality, right? Again, merging the physical world with the digital one. You can, as a developer, as a company developing solutions, you can jump basically out from the real world platform. You can implement the real world into your, game, into your solutions to develop for certain problems, like implement real world objects like we do with cars. Going to see it in a second. And also, I think what allows us to do nowadays much better than before is to focus even more on the human factor.
Definitely. So the example with the iPhone in the shelf, it doesn't add any value. So the iPhone gets its value as it is your personalized companion, so highly individualized, fitting your needs, and let you access the world behind in an easy manner. And this is also what is getting more and more important. Products are driven by UX and UI design. So make things accessible, how to experience products. These are nowadays the driver for product definition, and it's not any longer these engineering and technical view on products. So the definition takes into account way more than before. So you need to know the environment your future customer lives in, what is the context he wants to use the product, what is probably an added value to his personal life. So there is way more of investigation, way more of clarification upfront to do than just care about materials, stability, and all these things.
Yeah, again, I think it's now possible. Nowadays possible because it became kind of a no-brainer. Maybe also to add is, I think it's not only about how solutions should look like, but also how you should implement them, right, into your kind of daily routine. You earlier mentioned development, let's say development of new vehicles in every kind of area. Might be a train, might be a car, doesn't matter. But what's crucial, that's what we have learned as a company, to implement the solution of, for example, mixed reality into the processes, right? So we often see that, or often saw that new technologies like VR were kind of handled as an add-on, a nice add-on. Hey, if you want, you can also use VR AR here. That doesn't work. It doesn't work at all because people are always kind of shy, kind of little challenges with applying to new technologies. So what you really need to do is you need to implement it into the actual process as a key touch point, as an individual touch point. Then you will be successful when you want to use immersive media.
Yeah, but are you talking about the focus from a customer's perspective or from a production or manufacturer perspective?
I think both. But as we are a B2B company, I'm more experienced in this field. So maybe we can showcase a brief video. What we have done here is implement a mixed reality application solution within the sales process of dealerships.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we can.
Yeah, but I want to add before we jump to that, and want to add for a manufacturer. We are mostly using XR solutions to improve the production pipelines and also the development cycles and so on. But what I mentioned, to integrate all these challenges to create experiences, means also to create interactive content, do the storytelling upfront, to explore the product. And the question I have is if the tools are already there to develop these kind of future products. But we can switch to your example.
Yeah. And maybe to explain a bit briefly what we do here is we actually, so NXOT use real cars as an input module basically. So the real car becomes a simulator within a couple of minutes by putting the car on a certain hardware platform equipped with steering sensors. We attach sensors to acceleration and brake pedals. And what you see here is the virtual environment, the virtual driving environment gets displayed within the windshield. But the person who's now conducting a virtual test drive, focusing on safety systems such as driver assistance systems, can still see people, the sales rep in this term, sitting next to him or her. And I think it's just a great example. What we've done here is to look at the actual sales process of a dealership, where at a certain point you sit in the car and now add basically the power of mixed reality, of virtual reality here to enable a new kind of customer experience.
Yeah, it's not only the enablement, you mentioned it, yeah, you mix the real car and you see your own hands, you are in this virtual environment, part of the virtual environment, and this is also something which is an important part because it generates trust in your environment, and this is, yeah, as for the acceptance, a crucial
Definitely.
But you have more, we can transfer this example probably to more industries?
I guess so, yeah, but maybe quick here, I brought a slide with me. Again, here, what we've done is not just focusing on software, but we figured out, hey, if you have software, you need to have the right hardware, and the right hardware wasn't there yet. That's why we have kind of created it by ourselves. But in a nutshell, we really created a simulation ecosystem, and I think this is key here, to not only see a black box of software, hardware, and also implement the physical world, what we have done quite successfully, I guess, here with real cars.
That's great. Meanwhile, the sun is shining as well. That's good. Coming back, I like this approach, and this is also helping us in the early stage development where we do not have everything at hand. We do not have all the real world conditions at hand. So making our thoughts how to generate these environments and scenarios and how to interact and access these virtual world. But we can also transfer this to another vertical.
Yeah, so. Definitely. Yeah, we've done it with multiple industries. Again, here, cool thing is it's a train driver simulator in a nutshell, and they're super used to basically one screen in front of her or him. It's not really immersive, obviously, because you look at one screen, right? What we've done here is, again, using the camera technology to display the real levers and gears. You can interact with them and just create a virtual train cabin around it. And out of the sudden, you are really in a totally new dimension of immersion when you're training, when you're learning something.
Okay.
While using your actually physical objects.
And that's the big benefit, because you are immersed, you remember all the things, all the benefits. I guess there are a lot of talks already about this, the benefits of using AR, VR, mixed reality for training purposes. And I like the next example you brought with us.
Yeah, it's kind of a Beat Saber for machinery training. It's the same concept again. How can you learn to use the right angle with this machine? The people or the person who gets trained here can use the actual machine, but just, again, gets displayed the virtual environment here. And it's done in his office, so you don't have this kind of much effort of going somewhere to be trained here. Again, I think that's the power of mixed reality.
Cool.
But Jan, I think as you are kind of very, very long in this industry and have seen so much coming from an automotive brand also, maybe you can add something here or have other nice examples. I believe so.
Yeah, I think one of the projects I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to work with our UX design department and my wonderful colleague Christina here. It was developing the Audi Dimensions, the new user interface concept. It was developed for this great car, our latest show car, the Audi Active Sphere. And what we did here is the first time we implemented not technology solutions for product development, but we implemented it as part of the product. And using AR for creating this freedom inside, you do not see any physical displays any longer, any physical buttons, and all these dependencies you have from an ergonomical point of view. Let's switch to a few scenarios here. Of course, you have always information at your fingertips, and I think the most or the best explanation what is this AR doing? It brings you the right information in the right place at the right time, and this is the benefit. So it's about the content presented when it's needed, and it's also gone when you do not need any information. We saw also a lot of images creating a dystopian image of the future overloaded with virtual information and all that stuff. But if you use this system in an intelligent way, you also reduce the stress level getting information. Also another benefit, decoupling hardware from software, because you can put your functionality or whatever you need in a place where you want to have it. And
how far is it, just add a question, how far is this developed, and when can people kind of expect it to be implemented into the physical car?
Yeah, that's still a way to go, honestly. Yeah. This is just the beginning, doing all this concept, developing these kind of interfaces, collecting also the experience, what is not distracting while we do not, the car is in motion, so it's not a static product. And this has also caused some issues. So we need to solve the problems with stable tracking, all these things. So even technically, there is a way to go, and the regulation is also needs to be done. So a lot of things still to solve, but as a starting point, creating these kind of AR platforms and adding mobility to our daily lives. This is the goal of it. So we are coming to the end. So probably
already,
time for
quite far.
conclusion.
Well, I think that the key and interesting thing is that you can see mixed reality as a kind of became kind of a new standard, right? So again, camera technology is used to enable other experiences, maybe and hopefully better ones. I think that's the crucial thing we've learned today, at least for me. You want to add something here as well?
Yes. So you need to think, if you think about solutions, you need probably to open the perspective a little bit to a wider thing and start thinking from A to Z. Where is your product located? What happens around and all the conditions? Because only if you are able to solve that, you find also the integration where your solution fits and what are the interfaces needed, what are the outcome, and how can you make these solutions easily accessible for your customers.
And again, I mean, we had it last year, that our talk, right? But this focus on human-centered development, human-centered engineering, I think is still very key. And now again, mixed reality became an enabler to boost this kind of topic, I guess, right? And also, I think we mentioned it, but if you want to apply this technology in your processes, let it be part of the process rather than let it be a nice add-on, or if you want, right? This is very, very crucial. I think I've at least learned over the last 36 months I'm in this industry.
Yeah, it's challenging, but it's great, a lot of opportunities for the future. I think the future we see here, having lightweight glasses in front of us, will still take a while. But for me, this will be the future interface, the interface we interact with our real world. So mixed reality is a great vehicle to start right now, developing the solutions and support the solutions of tomorrow. Cool. So what's next?
That's a good question.
I go with our little friend here. Difficult to see, always in motion. It's the future. So, thank you, and now it's still a little bit of time for
2 minutes
questions
left
and answers. Is there any questions in the room?
Doesn't have to be a question, can be a critic as well.
Some comments. Feel free.
Cool. I think we covered all then.
Seems so.
Perfect.
Lucas?
Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, and enjoy AWE.